$30,000. Gone. Not from a scam. Not from bad luck. From me. A guy who could explain the Federal Reserve at a dinner party. And still, somehow, let his ego write checks his portfolio couldn't cash. I was the smartest person in the room. That was exactly the problem. Nobody tells you this, but intelligence can be a liability when it comes to money. Your brain doesn't protect you, it betrays you. It builds a story so convincing, so airtight, that by the time you realize you're wrong, you're already broke. I had a friend, Sofia. She's a mechanic in Queens. She could walk up to a car that wouldn't start, close her eyes for half a second and just, no. Fuel pumps clogged, alternator shot, never wrong. Never stressed, just quiet confidence. I, on the other hand, stressed about everything, especially money. Because money, for me, wasn't just money. It was proof. Proof that I'd made it. Proof that I was as smart as everyone said I was. So when I finally had a real salary, real savings, a real 401k, it felt like validation. Like the universe was nodding at me, saying, yeah, you were right. You are the guy. And that's when the universe decided to teach me a lesson. It happened at a rooftop bar in Williamsburg. I was there with some guys from work, finance bros, consultants. The kind of people who use phrases like synergistic disruption like it means something. And one of them, this guy named Derek, pulls me aside. Dude, he says, dropping his voice like he's about to tell me state secrets. You're smart. You get it. I'm going to put you on. He tells me about this investment, a tech startup, revolutionary, pre-IPO access, he calls it, friends and family round. Basically, getting a ticket on the rocket ship before the general public even knows it exists. The numbers he's throwing around, they make my salary look like pocket change. He shows me his phone. Graphs going up and to the right. A website that looks like the future. Founder interviews, where some guy in a hoodie talks about changing the paradigm. And my brain? My smart brain? It didn't ask questions. It threw a party. Here's the thing about smart people. We love patterns. We love feeling like we're in on something others aren't. And Derek was feeding me the most addictive story of all. The genius who spots the next big thing before anyone else. This wasn't gambling, I told myself. This was vision. This was what smart people do. I ignored every red flag. I ignored the fact that I couldn't really explain what the company did. I ignored the little voice that sounded suspiciously like Sofia saying, if it sounds too good, something's clogged. Instead, I handed over $30,000, money I'd saved, money I'd earned with my brain. And for 3 months, I felt like a genius. I checked my portfolio every morning with my coffee, watching that number climb, mentally calculating how early I could retire. I started using words like liquidity event and exit strategy. I even called Sofia once, tried to explain it to her. She listened, quiet. Then she said, sounds like you're betting on people you don't know, eh? Not my style. I told her she just didn't get it, that this was the future. She was right. I was wrong. 6 months in, the updates started getting weird. Emails bouncing back. The fancy website? Gone. The founder in the hoodie? Vanished. The money? Also vanished. Evaporated. Like it was never there. Derek? Stopped returning my texts. $30,000. Gone. And that's when the real dumb part happened. The part that still keeps me up at night. I got angry. But not at Derek. Not at the scammer. At myself. And instead of walking away, licking my wounds, and learning, I doubled down. My smart brain told me I couldn't have been that wrong. I must have missed something. There had to be a way to win it back. To prove I was still the genius. So a month later, I found another opportunity, riskier this time. Crypto leverage trading. Basically, betting money I didn't have, on moves I didn't understand. Chasing a high I couldn't control. I wasn't investing anymore. I was hunting. Trying to outsmart the market that had just humiliated me. Spoiler alert. The market doesn't care about your ego. I won some at first. Small trades. It felt amazing. Like I was taking back control. My brain flooded with dopamine every time I hit buy. I stopped sleeping. Started checking charts during meetings. I lost the rest in 48 hours. One bad trade. A flash crash. The market blinked, and my money just wasn't there anymore. Gone. So there I was. The guy with the degree, the job, the reputation, sitting on the floor of my overpriced studio, staring at a bank account with $17 in it. $30,000, then another $15,000. $45,000. Gone. And the worst part? It wasn't the loss that hurt most. It was the silence. I sat there for hours. And eventually, I picked up my phone. I called Sofia. She picked up on the second ring. I could hear the garage in the background. Air tools, music, life. Yo, she said. I didn't say anything for a long time. Just listened. Finally, I said, Sofia, how do you know? With the cars. How do you just know? She was quiet for a second. Then I heard her set down whatever she was holding. Aiden, she said, you remember old man Garcia used to bring in his Buick every 3 months, same problem? Kept putting in cheap parts, kept wondering why it broke again. Yeah, I said, I remember. I told him 100 times, stop trying to save money and fix it right. But he couldn't hear me. Because he already had the answer in his head. He wasn't listening. He was just waiting for his turn to talk. She paused. You been Garciaing your money, eh? You got the answers in your head before you even asked the question. That's not smart, that's just loud. I hung up the phone and sat there in my apartment, surrounded by the silence of my own bad decisions. And I realized she was right. I'd been so busy talking to myself, telling myself I was smart, telling myself I was a genius, that I never stopped to listen to the quiet voice saying, this feels wrong. To Sofia, hey guys, quick pause here. If this story is resonating with you, smash that like button and comment below. Have you ever Garcia-ed your money? So that's where I am now. Not at the top. Not at the bottom anymore either. Somewhere in the middle, where most of us actually live. And I've been thinking a lot about what Sofia said, about shutting up and letting the thing talk first. About how being smart isn't the same as being wise. About how sometimes the dumbest thing you can do with money is trust the voice that's trying the hardest to sound brilliant. Because that voice, it's not your friend, it's just the lizard, wearing your degree as a disguise. I still mess up. I still get tempted by shiny things. But now, before I move money anywhere, I ask myself one question. What would Sofia hear? And then I shut up. And I listen.